most famous physical therapist on the internet.
Hi folks, Brad Heineck, physical therapist.
I'm Chris the Pharmacist.
And tonight we're going to be talking about will vitamins boost your immune system and health, as well as this being science-based. And we're going to get this information from Chris, who's a pharmacist, and he's done a lot of research and recent research to get this covered properly. So you know what you're getting good information. But before we're going to go any farther, Chris, you know what we need to do?
Oh, we got to show some stuff.
Yeah. Normally we have a giveaway, and this is a future video. So what you'll want to do is go to bobandbrad.com, go to the giveaway section, and you'll see what the giveaway is. You can sign up for it there, or on the Facebook. It's pinned to the top of the page. Check on that and go there for information on how to get involved. Twitter and Instagram, as well as TikTok, we are on, but there's no giveaway on there. So don't look for it there. All right. So I need to talk about this, Chris, and just bear with me here. But today, with all the highly processed foods, carbohydrates, that's a big buzzword now, is the carbs, and then sugars. Everything has got sugar in it, from milk to, it's amazing. Do we need supplements with all this, if you will, garbage in our food, some people refer to it as, or do we get enough vitamins in our food? Because if you look at the cereal, you look at the ingredients, it's like, my goodness, all these vitamins in here, really good. Of course, there's a lot of sugar in there. So that's what we're going to talk about. Yep. This is going to be a controversial subject. Some of the things that are brought up, there's going to be people with strong feelings. Put them on the comment section. It's nice to read them. And then we get people, talking back and forth.
Yeah, I think it's good to have that interaction.
Absolutely. For sure. So should we start out with vitamins? Are they important for our system, our immune system particularly?
Oh, yeah.
In today's world,
we are a COVID pandemic society. So yeah, I mean, all nutrients are good nutrients.
Sure.
And I guess at the end of the day, no matter what we do, I mean, you have to, your immune system is good health. It's a 24/7 job, 365 days a year. What you need to do is make sure you're eating well. So getting things through your diet to make healthy food choices. You want to make sure you're exercising, because that's a huge driver of your immune system. You want to make sure you're getting your sleep, because that's a huge driver of our immune system.
Okay.
And you want to drink plenty of water. That's a huge driver of our immune system. So there's 4 things there that are very, very essential and critical.
And the vitamins and minerals is just one part, but without the other 3.
Yeah, and just think of yourself as, I guess we're going to use 4 points. It'd be like a pyramid. If we take one of the leg, and if you kick a leg or 2 out, it's not going to stand so well.
Sure.
So, I mean, we live in an Americanized society, or a lot of us do, that where it's not always conducive to get the most nutrition. I mean, I've been a victim of going through drive-through. I'm sure you've gone through drive-through once or twice.
You're in a big hurry. You got things to do. You just don't have time to get
I'm hungry. I got to go,
diet.
And that's not going to necessarily. But even those foods do have some of the nutrients that we need. They're just if you go to Subway, I mean, there's going to have fruits and veggies and the grains and everything else. They're going to be fortified with your folates and your B vitamins and all the stuff that you get from fruits and veggies. Natural foods have other ingredients in there, which is why it's always best to get your nutrients through food. But when it comes down to it, sometimes we just can't do that. So maybe taking a daily multivitamin is a reasonable answer. And we want to make sure that within that multivitamin, it's got just certain ingredients to make sure it's doing the job for you. So
right. And then also, I think we're not going to get into this too much, but there are people with certain health conditions where you may need to take a lot of a certain specific vitamin. Can you some specific
Oh, yeah.
ones?
I mean, if you have something like, we'll just pick on osteoporosis. I mean, you're going to need vitamin D and you're going to need calcium.
Sure.
So, I mean, and actually magnesium, a little bit of vitamin K. So these are all things that work synergistically together to help to improve bone health. So your multivitamin is going to generally these days be fortified with vitamin D. It's been a buzzword. We've known a lot about it for a lot of years. It'll be D3. It's going to be cholecalciferol. So it's one of these things where you just look at your labels and just make sure you're getting, roughly you want to get anywhere from 600 to 800 IUs a day. And your doctor will tell you if you need to take more.
IUs?
International units.
Okay, and that's listed.
Most multivitamins will be in IUs.
Okay.
Some newer ones are going to micrograms, but for the sake of this simplicity, we'll keep it at IUs.
Okay. So we're establishing already that obviously you need vitamins, you need minerals to stay healthy.
Yes.
You should be able to get them all from your diet if you're eating properly.
Correct.
If you have a health condition, maybe you need more of one or another. But let's talk about particularly people who are generally healthy and they're here to find out, okay, I'm not sure I eat. I'm one of those people. I'm always busy. I'm always running, doing fast food. I don't think I'm worried about having good health,
Yeah.
and I'm stressed a lot. I think I should take a vitamin. So a multivitamin is probably the way to go.
I think so. We're gonna, yeah. Generally speaking, I mean, the supplement industry is a $31 billion industry. That's a big number, folks.
Vitamin supplement.
Yep. Yeah. When I came out of college 25 years, it was about a $2 to $3 billion industry. So it's expanded in 25 years. So it's definitely grown. It's definitely got a market, and it's definitely got a place. And I mean, to market that, and that's one of the things we have to be careful with vitamins, is a lot of these are super doses when you're looking at some of the individualized supplements.
Sure.
So I think if we're going to, for the average person that's reasonably healthy, but sometimes can't eat perfectly well, a multivitamin is going to be the way to go. So you can just go to any health food store, any pharmacy, heck, any grocery store, Amazon, you name it.
Yep.
I mean, they're going to all have good multivitamins. You want to look for something, steer for like something that's at least USP certified, because that's the standardization, and that stands for United States Pharmacopoeia. They'll at least standardize it. What's in that bottle is in that bottle.
You said
USP.
So if you look on the bottle, somewhere on there, it's
yeah.
say
So
USP, and what does it say after that?
Basically, it's just going to tell you that the ingredients that are in that bottle are certified. So if you have, we'll call it 600 IUs of vitamin D, you can bet your dollar that it's 600 IUs of vitamin D, or 15 milligrams of vitamin C, or 18 milligrams of iron.
So there are supplemental vitamins or vitamins out there that may have how much of a vitamin are in there, and if it doesn't say USP, it may or may not, or may have some garbage in there.
Yeah,
maybe,
it could have some things that are maybe not as good as what they should be. They could have some things that shouldn't be in there, and they may not even have the exact amount of dosage that it says it does.
Okay.
So you want to look for a high value, well-respected company that's going to be giving you the nutrition needs that you need.
So if we're looking at it and we know, like, let's pick one vitamin, for example, vitamin B12 or something.
Sure.
Typically, what's the range someone would need for that?
Yeah, you don't need a heck of a lot for B12. You're talking about just 2 to 3 micrograms. So that's a really teeny tiny. So not milligrams. It's a factor of 1,000 less. Okay. So teeny tiny. For vegans and vegetarians, listen up. These are people that we probably do want them taking a straight up vitamin B12 supplement or a B complex, because how do you get B12? Through meat. So basically, it's all through your animal products. So for people that have that lifestyle choice, which, by the way, they're eating better than most, but sometimes you don't get quite what you need. So for them, a multivitamin is probably going to help, but or they could supplement a B12 supplement. But I would prefer a B complex, because they're a little bit more realistic with the doses that they contain. Right.
So now that's kind of going back and forth here, because we just mentioned if you're eating well, you probably don't need a supplement.
Yeah, you gave me a curveball. But there's an exception to every rule. I'm trying to hit it, so so it's one of those things where.
Well, because I know people, vegans out there.
Oh yeah, it's huge,
and
they should be. They should be. It's an You're not going to have a problem with a vegan, because they eat better than just about everybody.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a lifestyle that they choose, and they know how to extract nutrients better than most.
Sure.
They really do. They're a very well-educated group of people.
So one of the concerns is, and I don't think some people are aware of this, if you're taking a supplemental vitamin or just eating a healthy diet, and your body gets already what it needs, and then all of a sudden, if you get an overload of a vitamin or a mineral,
where does it go?
Yeah, what happens? I mean, is it bad for you, or?
Yeah, our bodies are pretty interesting things, and basically in a lot of cases, but not every case, and when we get too much, and the B vitamins are really easy to pick on because they're water soluble, you excrete them, you get expensive urine. So I mean, from that standpoint, it all goes, you're throwing your money out the toilet. So I mean, it's kind of one of those things where we do want to be kind of careful with that. So when you're looking for your vitamins, you don't want, some of these things have just mega doses. I mean, actually in my pharmacy yesterday on the way out the door, I said, well, let's see what's in this B. And I saw a B12 supplement that had, 1,000 micrograms, which is like 16,000 times the recommended daily intake. So
16,000
16,000.
So that's just going to go in, and most of it's going right out.
Your body's going to extract what it needs. But the reason they dose it for that way is for specific people that have issues like pernicious anemia and things. But that's a sidebar.
Sure.
But I mean, for the most part, if you're going to use a B vitamin and you're vegan or vegetarian lifestyle, I'd either go with a B complex or a multi, because it's going to be reasonably balanced, properly dosed.
Sure. Well, the other thing is I'm thinking I'm not opposed to taking vitamin supplements, but at the same time, I'll forget to take it. So,
Yeah, I mean that's
so
the case for many people.
I really
Compliance
do.
is key.
I focus on my diet. I eat vegetables, my vegetables,
Yep.
and I really backed off on the carbs in the last couple 3 years.
Yep.
It's been very beneficial. So you carry on. I got to get back to my
Well,
thoughts
yeah, I
again.
mean, so from that standpoint, I mean, no matter what you choose, like I said, food is best, but I mean, a good multivitamin is going to get us what we need to do. So, I mean, whether you're looking at, vitamin D, which has to stimulate our immune system, helps to minimize the risk for upper respiratory infection, good for our bones. I mean, it does good for our mood. It's the sunshine vitamin. So ideally, if we could get it through standing outside, but hey, we
Sure.
live in Wisconsin, not conducive this time of the year to getting outside and getting
Sure.
that 10 to 15 minutes of, direct exposure to the sun. Plus the earth
So
changes at
that's what I
fall.
don't get. 10 to 15 minutes of direct exposure. You say that, and I've heard that before. But if you're out there and you have your gloves on and your coat and everything covered up, all
Exactly.
it's showing is your face.
Yeah.
It seems like you'd need more than 10 to 15 minutes.
Well, yeah.
Versus out there in your
Yeah, and
bikini uniform,
yeah, when we're just wearing short sleeves, etc.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, with skin cancer risk, you still got to be wearing sunscreen even in winter. So if you're out there for longer than 15 minutes, you better be protecting that skin. So realistically,
Sunscreen doesn't block the vitamin D benefits.
you're going to get a very small amount absorbed. So it's not enough, and we're already not getting enough
Okay.
in the northern climate. So, your multivitamin, most cases, they do have enough already in there, and that's
Right.
at 600 to 800 IU level, like we were talking about earlier in the video.
Sure.
So again, it's very, very important, but it does a lot of good things for the body. So you want to make sure your vitamin contains that D, and most do.
Sure. The next thing I want to talk about is, let's say we have someone who's generally healthy, not taking any meds, a normal lifestyle, and they come onto a crisis in their life or something that may last a number of weeks or months, putting unusual stress
Sure.
and or physical demands on their body, say a new job, family changes, or something that you're just overloaded.
Yeah.
Can the excess vitamins, are they needed? Is that going to help you get through it?
There's some actually really good studies specifically with the B vitamins, and there's 8 of them. So it's
There's eight
separate B vitamins, and actually it's funny when you look at B1 through 12, you look at them, they're all kind of, there's B1, there's B2, B3, B5, B6, B7, B9, and B12. So I mean, from that standpoint, you look at all these. I am a nerd, so fully admit it, I do have problems.
So bees are good for
Bees
stress?
are good for stress. Yeah. So, I mean, and actually a little bit of vitamin C too. So a lot of the balanced B complexes, which is a type of multivitamin, the C enhances the absorption of the B vitamins. So that's why it's important if you're looking for that one to get it. Because if we're working really long hours, and with this COVID society we have, people are doing things that are probably far more unusual, so they're probably working 2 and 3 jobs in a lot of cases just to make ends meet. That puts tax on your body, puts tax on your immune system.
Right.
So those B vitamins do support that, and so as we're going through all these stressors, our body kind of tends to burn through those things. So and if we're on the go like that, and we're not being able to eat probably properly timed or properly nutritious meals, you're probably going to need to supplement those. Most of the multivitamins again are going to address those needs to get you what you need. So it's just a 1-a-day vitamin that you can handle. And again, if you're taking, like we were talking about earlier, if something good, more is better. And I was saying, I better take a B complex too because I'm going through so much. Water soluble vitamins, you just excrete them out. So just pick one that you can stick with and be good with it.
Right. Now I know we've been talking about the vitamins, supplements, how to take them, what to watch out for. But again, I want to go back to the 4 things you mentioned.
Yep.
First of all, if you're eating good food, fruits, vegetables, meats, all good quality food, and you're eating it regularly, probably don't need any vitamins because, again, you're making expensive urine. So you can certainly be healthy without a supplement.
Yeah, you don't need it if you're eating well. If you're eating perfectly all the time, it's a waste.
But again, not just a diet, but, I'm a physical therapist. We both understand you need to get some exercise.
Huge.
You don't have to be a marathon runner.
Nope.
Get out and walk, do exercise to get things moving. And then again, what was the other thing you mentioned?
Sleep.
How could I forget?
Yeah, we got it's almost like a bed right here.
Yeah. Yeah. So you sleep, exercise, nutrition, and just be happy. You know.
Yeah, well, reducing your stress does have an effect on your immune system.
Oh.
So I mean, but there's several other nutrients. There's some minerals out there that stimulate our immune system, like zinc and magnesium. So
Sure.
there's a lot of stuff out there. And when you get a complete multivitamin, a little bit of vitamin A, these are all things that work synergistically in our body. There's thousands of little chemical actions and reactions that are going on that stimulate our immune system. But like I said, those 4 pillars that we kind of talked about, were the sleep, the rest, the good nutrition and exercise, are huge.
Yeah.
But vitamin can supplement that. And if we're not getting it through our diet, it's certainly going to help us to hopefully be healthier, especially in these extended, really unusual times.
Right. So I got more questions, but
Fire away.
Well, you go into, say, your store, and like you had mentioned, there's a whole wall full of vitamins. So again, we're not going to pick out certain brands
No.
On here, but again, look for the USP on the label.
Yep.
Look for exaggerated amounts of volumes of certain.
Avoid exaggerated amounts. The super vitamins are not going to help you. You're just going to end up excreting them. And again, if we're even partially nutritious diet, a lot of the things that are in our diet are already supplemented in our cereals, our breads, our grains, with the folates and things of that nature. So we want to be mindful of that, because too much can be bad. In some cases.
If you're taking medications, make sure you talk to your doctor.
Yep, very specifically on that, because there's certain interactions. My favorite one to pick on is always the blood thinner warfarin, because of vitamin K. But certain antibiotics with the minerals like magnesium and zinc and calcium can inhibit how certain antibiotics are absorbed. It can also, if you're taking things like Tums or antacid, they slow down, say the thyroid medication. Not to make people's heads roll, their eyes roll back in their head, but you want to be careful with the timing of nutrients. It's one of those things that's certainly going to help. Iron is another big one that you want to be careful with. It's best on an empty stomach.
And then, outside of iron, I'm thinking, most vitamins, I think you had mentioned before when we were talking, you need to have a diet, some whatever is in the food, so your body absorbs it and you have a complete system working. It's not like you can take vitamins without eating and be healthy.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah. It's there's no shortcuts, Brad. I mean, there just isn't. And so what a multivitamin's going to do is just supplement what we're not quite getting. And so it's just going to provide that benefit. But yeah, you can't just go on coffee, cigarettes, and water and vitamin, and it's just not going to work. I mean, we said some things that are pretty bad there, but it's just not going to help us get through that.
All right. Wow. So very good. I think there's good news and bad news here. I mean, mostly good news. You don't need to take a vitamin if you're eating well, and if you're not, you're concerned, go ahead, but make sure you take some good ones and not too much of it. So I don't know, Chris. I'm exhausted here. My mind is.
Well, there's a lot of nutritional facts that we kind of talked about. We probably even glossed over a few that we could, maybe consider another program another time. But
exactly.
But yeah, it's I think at the end of the day, go out there, try and get your rest, try and get your exercise, eat well, get your sleep, drink your water. Those are gonna be the bigs.
Yeah.
And when you can't do it, I think it's really safe to say that a good multivitamin is going to help you.
Sure. All right. Very good. Thanks for tuning in to us, and we'll catch up next time.
Sounds good, guys.